to introduce my awesome and wonderful brother. Yay! He goes to Sharon Middle School. He's 12 years old, and as I said, he's not annoying at all.
Jessica. Eric, yeah, you don't go past that chair, okay? Go. And up to that point there. Thanks.
Should I start? Hello, my name is Eric Zhang, and today I'm going to be talking about my 6th grade trip to Camp Burgess. I would like to thank Jessica for her wonderful and amazing speech on skiing, and you forgot some other things about yourself. Okay. First of all, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Cool.
I'll be dividing my speech into 5 parts. The first part is going to be going to Camp Burgess. The second part was what I did on a typical day. Third was the special events. The fourth was coming back from Camp Burgess. And the fifth was my thoughts after Camp Burgess. So who here has been to an overnight camp or something similar? Okay. Nice to know. So the day I was supposed to go to Camp Burgess, I woke up at 5 in the morning, since it was about a 2-hour drive to Camp Burgess, and the school wanted to get there early, so we had to wake up really early. And I had packed all my bags the day before, so I was really pumped and I was ready. And I told my mom, hurry up, we're going to be late. And then we drove to the Sharon Middle School. There were 3 buses there in total. There were 2 coach buses and 1 regular yellow school bus. The people who went on the regular yellow school bus, they volunteered because there was supposedly a prize. And in the end, it was actually candy, which I thought wasn't the best prize. So I'm glad I went on the coach bus because there were TVs on it and there was air conditioning, which made it very fun to ride on the yellow bus. Okay, now I'll be talking about what I did on a typical day there. So I would wake up at around 6 in the morning and I would take a shower. Then there was breakfast. After breakfast, there were the morning lessons. And I mostly knew what they were talking about, but I learned some new things, which was good because otherwise I would have went there for nothing. In the afternoon, we had 2 more lessons, and all the lessons were about the environment and how the ecosystem worked, how the lake ecosystem worked, things like that. And after those 2 lessons, we had free time. And free time was really fun because you could go anywhere around the camp because they had a farm there and there were lots of animals. There were goats and chickens, and they had a garden. They also had a huge field where you could just play there. After free time, we had dinner, and the food was served family style, where you had a tray and you passed it around, and each person took a little bit off the tray.
I have a question though. So these trips that we could make during that free time, were they supervised trips or they were not supervised?
The man in the black tie asked.
The
The gentleman in the black tie asked.
Handsome gentleman.
The handsome gentleman in the black tie asked, were these trips supervised? Yeah, you had to ask your bunk counselor, and they would approve it. So as I was just saying, after that we had dinner. And after dinner we had our nightly activity, for example, Mission Impossible or the bonfire, which I'm going to be talking about next. And after that, it was lights out, which it meant you were supposed to go to sleep, but that was just a suggestion for us. So, now let me ask, why didn't the skeleton go to the dance?
Why did the skeleton not go to the dance?
Yeah. The young lady in the gray dress.
Because he's a skeleton? Do they invite skeletons to dances?
No, it's not it. Because the young lady in the gray dress asked because he's a skeleton and they don't invite skeletons to the dance. And that's not it. Most of you already probably know this, but you just didn't answer, but it's because he had no body to go with.
Oh, that's
Now I'll be talking about the special events, which were Mission Impossible and the bonfire. Mission Impossible was sort of silly, but the counselors, they dressed up and they called themselves agents and they pretended aliens were invading the world. The only thing I found creepy about it was someone just dressed up in a yellow raincoat and walked through the forest, which I found creepy because most of the horror movies I watched was someone was walking in the woods and they got killed because there are bad things in the woods. And the other thing was we had to go through a dark cellar, which there were a lot of horror movies based on that too. And now I'll be talking about the bonfire. The bonfire was your average bonfire. You just they just made a huge fire and we roasted marshmallows, sang songs, and just talked. Okay, now I'll be talking about coming back from Camp Burgess. It was the same as going there, except everything was sort of in reverse. We left 3 days after we went there, I believe. And the movie we watched was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. And the people who went on the yellow bus still went on the yellow bus, which, most of them. And once I got back to Sharon, my mom was waiting there for me, and she started asking me a lot of questions. Finally, I'll be talking about my thoughts after Camp Burgess. I really liked it because this was only my third overnight camp in my whole entire life. And my first one was a Boy Scout camp that I had been to. And I like overnight camps because you don't have your parents there telling you what to do. Because, most of the things they said, they don't make you eat your vegetables and they don't tell you when to sleep. So today I talked about 1, going to Camp Burgess, 2, what I do on a typical day there. 3 was the special events. 4 was coming back. And 5 was my thoughts. Thank you, and if you have any questions, you may ask them now. Okay. I would like to introduce Jason.
One sec.